Today I was supposed to be flattening back and polishing up all the lovely fresh paintwork on the MR2. However, some bits haven't arrived, so instead we're going to be doing something fun. So yes, hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining me once again. As I said in the intro, unfortunately, I'm missing a load of bits and pieces that will enable me to flatten back and polish up the remainder of this fresh paintwork. So today, what I'm going to be doing is taking this rusty, bent trailing arm and turning it into one of these. Okay, so in front of me, I have everything I'm going to need to turn this into one of these. Now, basically, this was a massive trial and error. I had bought a few different bits and pieces. I misread the information because these give you the total length that you will be able to achieve with using these different eyes. So obviously this is going to be far too short, even if I was to completely bring that out to the maximum adjustment I possibly could. So what I've ended up doing is going for an oversized element, and I've got to chop 20mm off either end. Then that way, that is now going to give me the perfect length for one of these eyes and this end once tapped up. So all I need to do now is cut this section off here. I mean, as you can see, this section is just completely unusable. I really wanted to replace all the bushes and bits and pieces on this MR2 anyway, and obviously you can't just buy replacements for these spherical bearings. So this was another reason why I wanted to go down this route anyway. Okay, so now I have cut my end off, what I need to do is tap a thread that's going to go into the bottom of this universal turnbuckle. Now this uses an M14x2 pitch, so that is exactly what I'm going to be using. Now annoyingly, my vise isn't clamped down or anything. However, when I did this yesterday as the trial run on this first one here, it didn't actually put up too much of a fight. So what I'm going to do is make sure I get this all oiled up nicely, and then I'm going to go in and tap my thread. Okay, so with the thread now tapped, it's just a case of applying the adjustment locking nut and screwing it into the turnbuckle. Now I did find when I did this yesterday, obviously with a fresh thread, it's really quite stiff, but it does get there eventually. And there we go. That is one custom arm. Now obviously, to make it look nice and pretty like this, I'm just going to clean this thoroughly using a wire wheel, give it all a good degrease because they put some oil on this when it comes to transporting them. Obviously I don't want to powder coat this because this is a spherical bearing, which obviously we do not want to get gummed up with powder. So basically I will just take this off and then give all this a good clean up. We'll stick it in the powder coater. Okay, so after 2 coats of the orange powder coat, that is now there ready to cool. So obviously this one is completely done. I have measured the original width or length of this that I took off the car, and I've now got it pretty much spot on. I'm not too fussed because I am going to have to take this car and get it fully aligned once everything's all done, because I've still got all the poly bushes to replace and everything, so I'm miles away from that anyway. However, there is only one issue that still remains. Obviously the width of this bush is a lot wider than the new one that I'm using. So I have got a simple solution. These are called misalignment spacers, which are deliberately made for this purpose. So one will sit either side, and now the width of that is pretty much spot on. So with this in mind, this one being completely done, let's get it on the car and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so obviously you can see where this is meant to go. That one's going to sit there. So let me just get this bolt through. I'll do that up properly in a second. But then we've obviously got this end where I'm going to need to put these misalignment spacers in as we go. So if I just pop that through and pop one of them on, push that through a bit more. Now I can get this second one in. Like so. And voila! So now I just need to do it all up, and that is a completed arm. So that is now two completely custom rebuilt rear toe arms for the back of this MR2, and I think you'd agree they look absolutely fantastic. And the best thing is I've taken a near 30-year-old part which was basically fit for the scrapyard with this bent arm, and I've now turned it back into a perfectly serviceable item, which is probably even better than new with these ultra high performance spherical bearings on the end. So obviously next time what I really want to be doing is finishing off the bodywork. So as soon as all the bits and pieces arrive to sand back and flatten back all this lovely paintwork, then that is what we will be doing next. So until then, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.